was in a boat going from Puerto Rico to St. Thomas, and I stopped in a sunglass shop because I had forgot my sunglasses. And they had a rack of polarized lenses, polarized sunglasses. I said, great. And there's like a side mirror where you put your glasses and you see yourself. And I looked at the mirror, I put on the glasses, and when I looked at the mirror, because of the polarized lens, you could see a very colorful parrot, but you can only see it if you have the polarized lenses. If you take the lenses out, you just see your reflection, because that's what polarization does, right?
Yes, yes.
And it made me wonder, what else is out there that I don't have the right pair of sunglasses to be able to see? And stillness and awareness, it's like putting on a pair of glasses that's going to allow you to see way more than you could actually see without it. It's like putting on a
Yes.
pair of glasses.
Welcome to Letting Go and the Greatest Secret, where we explore the end of your suffering and the beginning of lasting happiness. I'm Hale Dwoskin, and today I'll be speaking to Guillermo Paz. Guillermo Paz is an energy healer, and his life quest is to bridge the gap between business and spirituality. He is also a successful entrepreneur that owns an ad agency serving multinational clients all over the Americas, and owns a luxury villa rental business in the British Virgin Islands. What was your impression when you read The Greatest Secret?
I was fascinated by the book, and actually, if I would have had any saying in it, I would have even modified the title. Instead of The Greatest Secret, it's like The Four Great Secrets, because there's like really four very important pieces of information that are very unique, yet integrated, of course. But everything from awareness to releasing to happiness to existence per se. These were material for four books that are like so well put together and so magical. Any one of those four angles are just spectacular for any reader to review, and the way it was simplified and synthesized, it was really, really insightful. It was like you're not necessarily reading something you've read before. There are many interpretations that open and spark different ideas, at least in me, which were super insightful. I'm very appreciative of it.
That's great. Oh, I'm glad you enjoyed it. It was an honor and fun to be part of the project. I had no idea it was happening or going to happen, and my wife and I were hiking, and we had this thought around the same time, and we discussed it and then just let go around it, which was, this was last March, March 2020, and we thought, gee, it'd be nice if letting go and truth got out to more people right now, because people are really hurting. And about 2 weeks later, I was contacted by Rhonda to be part of the book. So it was a wonderful serendipity.
I know, it was totally serendipitous.
Yeah. So I know that your work is highly complementary to what's talked about in The Greatest Secret.
Definitely.
So let's just start out. As a businessman and an entrepreneur, how have you been applying both your work and the things described in The Greatest Secret into business and just life in general?
Well, if we're going to discuss it into business portion first, it's very much applicable for any entrepreneur in particular, or for that matter, for anybody that's working. The whole concept of connecting to awareness, which is basically creating an opening into what I call the divine, even though the divine is not necessarily a used word here, but it's an opening above you.
But it's a beautiful word. Use it freely, please.
Oh, okay, wonderful. Like for me, connecting to awareness is actually connecting to the divine, to the essence, to that eternal you. And I achieved to bridge this gap that exists between business and spirituality, or entrepreneurship and spirituality. And I find it fascinating because as a reader, I'm immediately applying it to my daily work. because particularly when you move, I'm very much aware of this awareness, and I actually practice it. But when business people like to say, okay, so what am I going to do Monday morning with all
Right.
this information, right?
Yeah.
So I'm the Monday morning instructor, let's say. So I said, you need to clear your thoughts first. This is the first thing, because if you think of it as an energy coming from the divine, it's actually starting to come into your head first, then it moves to your heart, then it moves further down. It's this flow. So said, as a businessman and as an entrepreneur, I'm a hunter. I describe myself as a hunter. If you don't hunt, you don't eat. So we're always selling, looking for that opportunity to do one more piece of business, like everybody does nowadays, right? So for me, the first thing that I have to connect to and release is any fear or blockages in my mind. That am I good enough? I'm not good enough. Is my product competitive enough? It is too pricey. Is it really addressing everybody? Yeah, you need to quiet that chatter out and step back, connect to awareness in my case, and to this, in this opening to the divine, to divine wisdom, and let it help you flush out. It's a tool to flush out a lot of self-doubt, and just trust that this flow is actually bringing the ideas, the knowledge, the insights that you need to go out and do your next sale. And for me, once you clear that in your head, and feel free to stop me here anytime, because I know
Well,
this is like a
I do have a
three-step process. Yeah, go
yes.
ahead.
So one thing, does the clearing actually happen in the head, or is it really more the heart clears and then the head follows?
I found, at least for me, that as I see this flow of if my mind is clear, then my heart is clear. And I know you just asked me if it's not the other way around. It could very well be the other way around. It's just how I do it. I know that all three areas have to clear.
Yes, yes.
The clarity in my head, the clarity in my heart, and the clarity in my will, to make sure that, and I guess I'm a very mental person, even though I do a lot of spiritual work. So head's got to be clear, because once the head is clear, I'm ready to open the heart. If
Yes,
I
yes.
open
No,
the
no,
heart
no.
and the head is not clear, it's like, ooh, I then get the conflict.
No, no, I
So
totally get it. It could be just me. And in my experience, that the two are totally connected, and they're
totally,
actually one and the same. I can't really
exactly,
actually find where my heart ends and my head begins, or my head ends and my heart begins. Because again, we're not talking about just the physical. We're talking about something that's way more than the physical. So
exactly,
yeah.
exactly.
So I
But I
can
added,
see, though, for the way you're approaching it, how it would be a queering in the mind and then a queering in the heart, and
yes.
that's totally in harmony.
And after I clear the heart, there's one more thing, which is my will, my drive, my force to take it into fruition, whatever it is that I need to do. I need all three energies.
Yes,
I need the
yes,
clarity, I need the attraction, which is this pulse of love that I send out and it comes back. And I need the willpower, that internal strength to take it, that spirit of, I'm not done when I'm tired, I'm done when I'm done.
uh-huh.
It could be very demanding when you're an entrepreneur and you're
Oh no,
always selling out there.
absolutely. Yes,
So you
yes,
could have a very clear mind of what you want, and you could be attracting all you want, but if you don't put your will into it, that third area for me is critical to push it forward. So
yes,
to your question of how do I apply these teachings, I do this clearing and this releasing in all three areas of me, in my mind, in my heart, and more like in my gut area, which is where my will and my drive
yes,
is handled. So once I
yes,
get all
yes.
three aligned, I'm unstoppable.
So do you have a tip for people how to queer the mind, heart, and gut?
Yes. Well, actually, and this is what's sometimes really fascinating about books like this, because they say you need to clear, right? And okay, so exactly how do I do that? Is the next question. It's not a Monday morning. What am I going to be doing?
Right, right.
For me, it all starts with stillness, because I talk a lot about stillness, because a lot of people, unless they're able to still their mind, it's an internal struggle and battle that's actually harder to connect to awareness, unless you're actually doing a little bit of a quieting down of your thoughts so that you actually open up. If you
Sure.
have your mind anywhere, anything like mine that's like a horse stampede that's going 1,000 miles an hour, you I really need to quiet this down in order to open up to
Yes,
divine
yes.
and clear out. So I start with stillness, and for me that's the foundation. And I actually love, and I tease a lot of my friends that are also business people. I say, no, no, I can meditate, I can meditate. There's no way I can stop. I said, you can. I'll put you to the test. But first thing is to be able to still the mind, with whatever techniques. And there's, a zillion apps on the app store and website and YouTube of things to still and quiet your mind. That's the initial first step, because once you steal it, then it's easy to command clearance and to give yourself an instruction of, okay, let's do the exercise of opening up, or blaring your view so that you actually connect with awareness as it's instructed in the book. You really need to be able to prep yourself to make the most out of it. And
Mhm.
that's what I loved about when I was reading about, yeah, step out and blur it out. Yeah, I do that too, because that way I'm totally connected, but not necessarily focused on one area. Because once I focus, then the distractions start.
Yes, yes,
So
yes.
I start with stillness. Stillness is underrated, I guess, because everybody wants to jump from, okay, let me start and achieve enlightenment like right away, or full connection to awareness. No, no, you need to walk before you run.
Yes, but yeah, I agree. But also, yeah, one of the things I notice, and you can see if you've noticed this too, is that there's a part of you, that awareness or beingness or isness, that is stillness itself. It's it is already still. Yes, even when the mind is busy in the foreground, in the
Hmm.
background, there is this changeless stillness or awareness or beingness. And isn't part of what you're doing just becoming aware of that or connecting to that or resting as that more?
Yes, I guess that I'm using my own very personal experience of how fast my mind goes. Like, maybe a lot of my friends go at the same speed.
Uh-huh.
So maybe because of the people that around me or my closest friends and all that, everybody's like on this go. It's like, unless I felt I needed to actually take a step back and, okay, let's focus on this in order to then move forward
No,
into
no, no.
awareness.
That's very valid. I'm not arguing with you. I'm just trying to suss out a little how you are perceiving it, and
Okay.
just give another perspective. I think if we need to do anything, whatever it is, I mean, again, I think I teach all sorts of very powerful tools for stilling the
Yeah.
mind and opening the
Yeah.
heart and
Yeah.
aligning the will. And
Uh-huh.
so everything you're saying, I completely agree with. I just am kind of probing and playing with it a little bit to see if we can
Sure.
expand on the conversation. But we're
Okay. Of course.
completely in alignment and agreement that if the mind is interfering, it can be such a big distraction that you can't get in touch with that stillness that you are, that awareness.
R- Right. I guess that, again, it was an area that I had to conquer myself in
Yes,
order
yes.
to be able to more smoothly dive into awareness. And I've been
Sure.
meditating since I was 15. So it's been a while now, and I'm lucky I got into it, because I sometimes wonder, well, what if I don't have had all these tools that we've accumulated over
Yeah.
time to be able, because still my mind it's a very active, dynamic chatter that's always thinking on what's the next project and how we're gonna move it forward.
Yes,
and
yes.
uh
But that's a
and,
beautiful
and then
thing.
once, yeah, 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 it's not criticism, it's just working, dancing with yourself, dancing with
Yes,
what
yes,
you
yes,
got,
exactly.
dancing with what the tools you came with, or the equipment you brought.
That's right. That's right. That's beautiful.
Thank you. So for me, once I was able to, and this is what I teach a few people, this connection into the divine, which is what awareness is, for me has three dimensions, or three
Yes,
core
yes. Please
dimensions that
tell me
make
more about that.
reference
Yeah.
to these core dimensions are, when we hear that we're made to the image and likeness of God, and obviously God doesn't have two eyes or two ears and one nose. There's something else. So I said, what is it that? And in the search of finding what is it that we are so godlike? And again, a very rational mind trying to compartmentalize pieces of information to be able to study it rather than a broad macro concept. For me, this whole concept of God being divine wisdom, divine love, and divine power,
Yes, yes.
and that's what we're made of. And that particular connection of, through the divine wisdom, we're here to create. That this divine love is actually our impulse is to protect creation and nurture what's being created, and that, from human beings to Mother Earth and everything in between. And from that divine power is this will for self expansion, that it should not be stopped. The universe is constantly expanding, and so should we. So for me, those three elements are the three core that I connect to when I'm actually connecting to my awareness. I compartmentalize
Hmm.
awareness into three pockets rather than just one thing. And it's funny because my wedding ring, I don't know if you could see it, it's a ring, but it's actually three rings that are
Oh, yes, yes. That's
intertwined,
beautiful.
but it reads as one ring, because this is my heart, soul, this is my essence, this is my
Yes,
awareness, but I actually split it in three. It's three that make up one. They're not separate, as you were saying. Your mind and your heart are all but one. It's the
yes.
same here, but here rational minds that are trying to understand higher esoteric teachings try to, again, find structures or earthly structures that would help us
No, no.
digest this
There'll be people who are
better.
absolutely. There'll be people listening to this that will find it incredibly helpful. So again, please, I'm just contributing to the conversation. I'm not your
Wonderful.
typical. I'm not your typical interviewer. I'm a little more engaged and participatory. That's kind of
Okay.
my style, because I
Okay.
really like this to be more of a conversation between equals than a kind of this artificial wall between the interviewer and the interviewee. To
Thank you.
me, they're the same.
Thank you.
We're
It's so much.
we're all having a conversation here with ourselves.
I guess we're all talking about the same thing in different expressions.
Exactly,
Because some of
exactly.
your expressions will reach a group of people, some of my expressions will reach another group of people, and so on and so forth. And everybody's angle is needed so that we're able to
Yes,
reach more people.
absolutely,
So
absolutely.
I avoid talking about, spiritual core and takarana and analysis and all that, because I can have a conversation about that, and a deep one too. But I don't tend to go into that, because I kind of like shifted more to bridging this gap between business and spirituality, because I think there was a lot of more need of attention in that area to help my
Oh,
friends and other
definitely. It's
people.
an act of compassion to be doing that. It's beautiful.
And so rather than talk about the antakarana and the golden body and how to build it and the whole thing, it's like I had that conversation with another group of friends.
But by the way, just so you know, this group of people that are watching this would bridge the gap.
Beautiful.
In other words, there are teachers that I've been talking to that will just talk from the heart of awareness, and so you can just be yourself, however you'd like
Yeah.
that to
Yeah. Yeah.
be.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I feel from you a very beautiful living presence of awareness, or you would call divinity, that's shining through you very naturally.
Yeah. Thank you.
And I think it's wonderful that you've created this beautiful expression in the way you did. It's a gift.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. That's one compliment. Thank you. I was talking once with this Baptist pastor that we happened to be together in a humanitarian trip in Liberia. And I explained this to the group, and she said, "Where did you get that revelation?" I said, "Whoa, that's a very religiously charged word,
Right.
revelation.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm very honored. I
Yeah.
never thought of it as a revelation, but
Right.
you call it a gift. She call it a revelation, and
Yes.
it's beautiful how different people interpret it differently. But it's helped me make spiritual teachings very digestible
Yes.
and easier to spread it forward in ways that more people, maybe more mental, rational versus very spiritual, devotional, could actually digest it and put it into practice.
Which is
and
great.
and uh, and Hale, just to share an experience, I was brought to speak with a group of entrepreneurs in a convention, and I asked all of them, I want you all to give me one reason why you're not at the level you're supposed to be of
Yes.
success in your business. And I didn't tell them. I had a chalkboard, and I flipboard with markers and all that. And I did three columns, and I started putting everything, all their answers, one word answers, connections or ideas or funding or the right partner or the right contributor, whatever. I put it in three columns. And he said, and this was over 100 people in this room. And I said, all of your challenges, because I don't call them problems, actually fall under three categories. You either need more clarity, the ideas, the information, the knowledge, the insights to improve your product, or you need more attraction energy, the right client, the right buyer, the right investor, the right partner. You need to attract something, or you're lacking the proper will, and you have to release your fears that you're not going to be able to make it and really pump yourself up, everything that's will. And I said, these are the three dimensions of your higher soul, of your higher essence, of your divine essence.
Mm.
You're made out of divine wisdom, so just connect to it. So the downloads of insights, information, knowledge comes to you. If you're not attracting enough clients, buyers, etc., you need to connect to your the divine essence of the divine aspect, love in this case, because that particular love energy is this pulse of attraction. You need to emanate more so you're able to attract more. So download more of it. And if you're not staying up late because you're tired and you just go to sleep, you need to connect to that willpower, because you know the returns will be there. So I teach you, if you connect to those three areas and all of these problems clear out automatically. But you need that energy to flush it out and to pump yourself up. And these are business people, Bitcoin people, tech startup people, you name it, medical devices people. And it was great because it was some of the first times that I was testing it, that this particular group of really mental, rational, not necessarily spiritual, were grasping it and saying, I'm ready to run with this piece of information. So I
That's
said,
great.
good,
That's great.
maybe this is one book that's coming.
Yes. Yeah.
That's one book that's coming with
That's great.
respective coaching process. Because once you teach people getting into stillness and then into connecting into your divine wisdom, love, and power, and downloading that information into every cell in your body, it really transforms people.
That's
It's
great.
it's
That's
great.
great.
People are saying like, I didn't think of that. Oh, no. Or they say, oh, I started getting calls. Oh, now I'm, working, putting more energy into it. I say like, okay, it's working. It's wisdom, love, and power. And that's it. That's all you need. That's my definition of awareness, split in three. That's it.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. So, and how do you? I hear that you're also an energetic healer.
Yeah.
So, and how does that relate to what you've been saying? But also, how does that relate to the greatest secret?
Energy healing. I started doing energy healing 23 years ago under this school that's called Pranic Healing. It was put together by Master
Oh, yeah,
Choa
I'm
Bok
very
Sui.
familiar with it. Yes.
So in pranic healing, you learn how to move energy around. That's
Yes.
basically
Yes.
what you're doing, like you do with Reiki and many other modalities of energy healing. for me, I'm particularly dedicating daily time to work with COVID patients that are mostly are intubated in a room. So these are not people that can read the greatest secret or practice it, because many are in like really bad shape and their families are like in a lot of tension because some thinking are gonna die or they're not gonna come out well. So my connection of how I do this is like I connect to awareness to help them release a lot of this congested energy that's inside of them, be that physical congestions in their lungs, in their brains, or in their blood, or in many cases, because they don't just have COVID, they have all the issues that are talked about in the greatest secret: fear, frustration, hatred, anger, etc., that you need to get rid of all of that. And we do it for them. We clean them energetically, all their internal organs, but we also clean their energetic bodies to help them release via psychotherapy healing, anger, frustrations, and those kinds of things. So even though the book is very much written for a do-it-yourself exercises, we step in to help people to release these blockages as well. Some people, get excited when they read so many books out there, but when it comes to application, they many need that initial push to get them out of that specific area where they are, and we push them energetically by cleaning them, so they can actually have more openness and less blockages to be more receptive to do the discipline work that you need to do to daily connect to awareness and do the releasing and put it into your daily practice, like showering or brushing your teeth. It's just things that you need to do. Some people find it hard to jumpstart that process. So through energy healing, we help people clear out all of these blockages.
Another gift.
I mean, thank you. I don't call it. I'm was very honored to hear it's a gift. This is something that everybody can do.
Oh, no, no, no.
Frankly,
I know that, but it's a gift that
it
you're
was
sharing
gentle.
it. That's
Oh
beautiful.
yeah, yeah, yes. Thank you,
I don't,
thank you.
I wasn't implying that you're somehow special and different than everybody else, but
No, we
what's
are the
beautiful is
same.
that you're stepping in to help those
Yeah,
who could, who may not feel they can help themselves yet. And
yet,
that's a
yeah.
beautiful thing to be doing. It's,
Thank,
to
thank
me,
you,
that's
Halo.
the very definition of love. Love
Yes,
is, you and I are the same. We are
yeah,
one awareness. And
yes.
there's no, that underlying connection or one awareness causes us to treat everyone more and more the way we would treat ourselves. And you're
True.
doing that through helping people.
Thank
And
you, thank you,
it's
thank you.
beautiful.
And in a way, it's so interesting to everything that's here in the book. But for example, I had to handle a lot of exceptions, people who could not necessarily read the book or have access to it, or people that are very sick. Or to give you one example, very recently, I had a call from this woman. She has a 7-year-old boy. So I don't expect the boy to read The Greatest Secret and take control of his life, because this is a very small kid, right?
Yes, yes.
So that's a moment where you have to step in. It's like the adults in the room better step in to help. This boy, for the last 2 years since he was 5, he had some blockage or trauma that he could not go to the toilet. He could just not sit on the toilet. He would poop in his underwear. And this woman contacted me and said, like, I'm desperate. I'm taking him to all the best psychiatrists and children's psychologists there is, and there's no hope, no light in sight that this is something that we're gonna be able to do. He says, like, can you help me? I said, well, I'm gonna give it a shot, because that's the least I can do. Give it a shot. And when you clear the energy of somebody will have a blockage or a trauma, rather than, like, as it says in the book, you do it yourself and face it and embrace it and open your hands and you're part of it so that it disintegrated. Couldn't take a 7-year-old kid to go through that particular exercise. So we clean them and we remove all the congested energy, all the trauma, and all the negative and the blockages. And in 6 weeks, the boy was going normally to the bathroom, and which speaks to it's this is beautifully written for the book is really written for someone who can actually take charge. But for those who are not ready to take charge because of age or a particular illness where they cannot take, we have, as energy healers, we all have our duty to step in and help clear out the way so they could actually grab the book and take it forward themselves,
Yes,
because
yes.
you're not going to be doing it every day.
Mm.
So I was reading the book, and I was going back and forth because, okay, but these people that are healed cannot do this. Okay, but some people can after you help them out. So it was a beautiful process of reading the book and applying it to what I do in my daily life to see how I could better merge them.
Yes,
And
yes.
obviously recommend it to people. Okay, now you're out of the critical zone. Read this book, put it into practice.
Yes, yes.
The awareness, the releasing, the happiness, or your understanding of your own existence, it's all there. It's beautifully exposed.
Yes, definitely.
So
Good.
that's a little bit of what I do for a living.
Well, that's beautiful. So, do you have a challenge or a suggestion for people that you want to leave them with or suggest they explore? It could be something for a day, a week, a month. It doesn't really matter. But do you have something like that?
Sure. And I don't necessarily know the profile of your audience, but I would imagine that your audience is like more connected than the typical person out there. I would
Yes.
think, but if you have like I'm very much part of your audience, and I still have my challenges on how to do meditation
Yes. Yes.
without getting all the distractions. So it could
Sure.
be that you also have crazy entrepreneurs that are always thinking of what is the next thing that we're doing, and it's hard. And I put together this technique to achieve stillness, because once, as it worked for me, I was sort of like paying it forward. It's like if I can help people reach stillness, they will open up into awareness much faster because they're
Yes.
not having this internal fight. So if people are 100% convinced that they cannot meditate and there's not a chance they can acquire mind, well, I don't have anything for them. But if they say they're 99% sure they cannot, with that 1%, with that nugget, I can work with.
That's good.
And
That's
I and
good.
I just need that little nugget, that little opening. Could be as small as it is. I can teach people how to achieve stillness with a very simple method, and then they can move on to the more advanced gurus like you to go into the more
I'm
deeper
no guru.
meditations in life. Well, a guru, the definition of guru is a dispeller of darkness, which is a dispeller of misinformation. So you
Yes.
qualify for the word, for what in
Well,
the
I don't
literal
take on that
meaning.
mantle, but I appreciate that. I definitely appreciate the sentiment.
Sure. So what I do, I'm teaching it in a very simple video. I'm distributing it for free for most people to be able to tap into. It's actually in a website called Your Soul DNA, and you can download the video there and practice it. Very simple. It's meant for people who say, I cannot meditate. There's no way on earth I cannot do it. It's very difficult. And it's very simple steps of connecting to your higher essence and relaxing with via breathing and looking upward so that we activate more alpha waves, which will help you relax immediately. And that automatically puts you in a state of stillness.
Mhm.
It's almost like a brain hacking technique
Yeah.
to actually force it to quiet down. So
Yes.
I call it in my computer programming world, it's a brain hack.
Yes. No. That's
What
a
I
common
teach
expression,
there.
and it's one that a lot of people understand. So again, you're speaking the language. This is beautiful. It if we're not speaking a language that is shared, we're not
Right.
really well we're not really communicating, at least at the level of language. Of course, communication happens at a much deeper level. You bring such a light and a joy to what you do.
Thank you.
Honestly, you think it's about what you say, but in my opinion, it's who you are that allows people to hear the wisdom that you're sharing. So
Thank you.
that's beautiful.
Thank you, Hill. So it's there. I challenge people who are having a little bit of a struggle with achieving stillness so that they can move on to more deeper levels of connection, meditation, awareness, etc. To try it out. It's on the website. It's called Your Soul DNA, and download for free. Share it with as many people as you can, because we need to help people be able to ease their existence, especially now in these times when there's so much stress and anxiety building up because of the uncertain times with COVID and all that. We need more people to be able to raise up to another level of vibration that will help them manage the intensity of life the way it's going.
Yes, yes,
And once that's achieved, then you open more to see, like they were saying in the book, to awake. For me, I always call it to see. We only see what we can see, and that's why so many people, what we can see with our physical eyes, and that's why we only see a person and never an infinite being, as it's expressed in the book, because we're too focused on the physical material. Once you reach stillness and you move into awareness, you start seeing with a different pair of glasses, which is
yes, yes.
what we're trying to provide here. And I have I want to share a very beautiful experience I had years ago,
Sure.
but I don't know, 30 years ago. I was in a boat going from Puerto Rico to St. Thomas, and I stopped in a sunglass shop because I had forgot my sunglasses. And they had a rack of polarized lenses, polarized sunglasses. I said, great. And there's like a side mirror where you put your glasses and you see yourself. And I looked at the mirror, I put on the glasses, and when I looked at the mirror, because of the polarized lens, you could see a very colorful parrot, but you can only see it if you have the polarized lenses. If you take the lenses out, you just see your reflection, because that's what polarization does, right?
Yes, yes,
And it made me wonder, what else is out there that I don't have the right pair of sunglasses to be able to see?
yes, yes,
And stillness and awareness, it's like putting on a pair of glasses that's going to allow you to see way more than you could actually see without without it. It's like putting on a pair
yes,
of glasses. Universe is only 5% of the universe is visible matter. The other 90%, 95% is invisible matter or dark energy. And because we don't see it, we don't trust it. And I guess I just want people to learn a little bit more about stillness and awareness and the meditation process. So once they connect, then they materialize and they what they want and they live happier lives, and everything starts falling into place more comfortably. But you need that pair of glasses to connect to that divine energy
yes.
in its three dimensions. This is what I talked about all the time.
That's great. Wonderful, wonderful. So, what you do, instead of giving people rose-colored glasses, you give them X-ray glasses to see what's
Exactly.
actually there.
Exactly. And I tell them, you can't buy it. You can't buy it. Happiness is not a transaction. Happiness is a state. You have to, once you achieve the stillness and you start understanding your true essence, happiness will happen because you will be a realization. You
Yes,
won't be able to buy it. It's not a transaction.
yes.
So yeah, I guess the group of people I'm talking to are tough cookies.
No, no, but yeah, in my experience, the times I've gone into companies, I found that people in companies are just people too. And they
Yeah,
have the same hopes, same desires, same needs, same fears. And they
yeah,
also have they share that same one awareness that all
yeah,
of us do. And so when you speak to them without honoring where they're at, using their language, but at the same time, inviting them into a bigger conversation, a more open conversation, a more alive and aligned conversation, that there's a willingness to go there because it's a deep level. You mentioned happiness. In my experience, at a bottom line, happiness is what we're all looking for, except in all the wrong places. And,
Right.
and that happiness is what's natural. As you say, you connect to your stillness and your an awareness, or
Mm-hmm.
you uncover the awareness that you are. In my experience, that happiness is a natural outflowing of that awareness that you are. That is happiness itself. So
Yeah.
it's wonderful that you're helping people in many walks of life, in many situations. And as you said, it could be considered a difficult crowd, but again, that's an act of compassion to not just go where it's easy, to go where it's needed. So it's beautiful. Thank you for doing what you're doing.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for doing what you're doing, transforming many lives, many, many lives.
I hope you enjoyed our conversation with Guillermo Paz. You can learn more about Guillermo and download a free video that guides you into stillness at yoursouldna.com. That's yoursouldna.com. If you've enjoyed this podcast, please subscribe so you can have immediate access to future episodes. Please give us a 5-star rating and share it with the people you care about. If you'd like to learn more about my work, my mentor Lester Levinson's work, and the Sedona Method, please visit www.sedona.com. As you explore our site, you learn the key to lasting happiness, success, peace, and emotional well-being. We have books, courses, events, and plenty of free material to explore. Again, go to sedona.com. That's SEDONA.com. Thank you for being here, and we'll catch you in the next episode of Letting Go and the Greatest Secret.